The sun rose slow on a broken town. Factories closed, machines shut down. Promises made, but none were kept. Dreams turned to dust while the people wept. 90 days of fleeting chance, a lifeline lost in a reckless dance. The clock ran out, now it's too late. Unemployment's the cruelest fate. The tariffs came, they hit like a storm. Families braced to keep their homes warm. A pause was given, a moment to act, but the time was wasted, that's a hard fact. 90 days of fleeting chance, a lifeline lost in a reckless dance. The clock ran out, now it's too late. Unemployment's the cruelest fate. Leaders spoke with words so grand, but their hollow deeds we can't withstand. The people begged, the people cried. Now hope's a stranger on this side. Misery's knocking, poverty's near, a future clouded by doubt and fear. If only they'd fought to make things right, we wouldn't be lost in this endless night.
Grüß Gott aus Pennsylvania, hier ist der Oberst Chris Wyatt. Es freut mich, jeder schon bei uns, schon wieder heute für unsere Sendung aus Pennsylvania, aus den Vereinigten Staaten. Und ich möchte jetzt ihr Bescheid sagen, dass ich lebe noch. Es ist ja falsche Nachrichten, dass ich in Verkehrsunfall gestorben bin. Das ist ja total falsch. Das ist ja was, wie sagt man, Fake News. Bonjour tous, je suis là pour vous. Notre transmission vient des États-Unis aujourd'hui. Je suis le colonel Chris Wyatt et je dois dire que je vis encore. C'est vraiment mauvaise actualité que je suis tué dans un accident avec la voiture. C'est vraiment faux. Welcome back, folks. Just to let you know that I'm alive despite the nonsense that's perpetrating with an effort to hoodwink people into putting malware on their computer. In honor of that, we composed a new song last night, The Colonel Lives On. And so before we get to the news and the rest of the program, I thought I'd share this. You can watch me eat or drink and relax, and you can see my pulse here, the time, watch the clock change. On the date of 2 July, you'll know I'm alive as here we go.
Colonel Chris ain't dead, y'all got it twisted. Rumors spread fast, but the truth, y'all missed it. Platinum hair shining, yeah, he's still here. Dropping facts on air, make the trolls disappear. Fake news flying, but the man's still alive. Burning lies down, watch the truth revive. Smacking down nonsense, sharper than a knife. Colonel Chris out here, living his best life. Fake news flying, but the man's still alive. Burning lies down, watch the truth revive. Smacking down nonsense, sharper than a knife. Colonel Chris out here, living his best life. Crash, nah, he cruising top down, no dent. Internet wild, but the truth's well spent. Smoking out the phonies, fire in his veins. Running through the static, breaking all chains. They tried to bury him, but forgot he's a seed. Roots run deep and he grows at speed. Microphone assassin, taking down schemes. Colonel Chris living in your nightmares and dreams. Perish, nah, he rebirthed on the mic. Spitting so raw, turn your dark to light. Platinum like his hair, shining in the storm. Fake news crumble, real truth reborn. Fake news flying, but the man's still alive. Burning lies down, watch the truth revive. Smacking down nonsense, sharper than a knife. Colonel Chris out here, living his best life. Fake news flying, but the man's still alive. Burning lies down, watch the truth revive. Smacking down nonsense, sharper than a knife. Colonel Chris out here, living his best life.
Yeah, folks, the memes are going around. Apparently some Pakistanis tried this a while back. I'd ignored it the first time out because it's just nonsense and not many people paid attention to it. But apparently the trolls are running around and claiming that I died in a car accident. And so just to let you know, I'm here. Yeah, so thank you very much for that. All right, it's time to get to our final intro music before we get to the news today. And thank you for those of you who tuned in early, because, you know, Wednesdays we do this a little bit early. So this one is the car guard video. I hope you enjoy this one, folks. Enjoy, and we'll be right back.
Down by the lot near the old cafe where the sun fries cars all night and day, there's a wild crew doing what they do. Yeah, you know them, the parking lot crew. Refugees with moves so tight, waving cars in left and right. 10 ways to say, yo, park that straight. 12 for bro, you're 20 late. Neanderthals in safety vests, snack in hand, but doing their best. One grunted loud, broke out in a jig. Turns out he just wants a parking gig. Canines bark like they run the block. Chased a drone down, beat the clock. One gave change with a tail wag spin. That dog's got tips and a toothy grin. Who you gonna call when the lot gets loud? Parking cones up and the drawing a crowd. Whistles blow and the scooters fly. It's the parking crew and the riding high. From the streets of town to the lot bazaar, they'll guard your ride like a superstar. Yeah, from Josie streets to America, it's the funky, fearless parking lot crew. Car guard shout near the garbage bin. Who parks skill? You let them in. They blow their whistles in perfect time, like a backup band with a traffic sign. Then here comes Wyatt, the colonel boss. Duct tape boots and a look that's sauce. Rides a scooter with flashing beams. Salutes pigeons, yells at ice cream. Men, dogs, apes from a line. No dents, no scrapes, no overtime. If they park like chaos, made a plan. Fight them twice and be the man. Who's got the beat in a vested hat? Parking legends funky like that. Guard your eye with soul and flair, and a hi-fi breeze in the summer air. From this lie here to America, it's the wild, proud parking lot crew.
Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Well, folks, welcome back. It's Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. We're on the downslope of the year 2025. Can you imagine that? I remember as a kid, I said in the year 2000, I'll be so old. What little things kids know. Yes, but we're well past the year 2000 at this stage. No, that's not entirely accurate. AI writes the songs. They do, but it's not exactly without input and keywords and themes from me. I put those in there, and then it does definitely, AI writes it because it gets a sense of what I'm looking for. So there you go. Teresa Mostar, thank you for the super chat, 35 Rand. White Army Live. That's right. So anyway, I made the video, not to make light of things, but to, you know, mention that people need to be aware of these dangers out there, okay? People trying to hoodwink you. I mean, it's amazing the questions I get from people. So Zen, I read your email I'm sorry, your email is not urgent. It's not urgent unless you have an appointment today or tomorrow. Your email is not urgent. It may seem urgent to you, but it's not urgent. There's no life or limb in jeopardy here. There's no fire. No one's invading your home right now. Those are urgent things. It's an important concern for you. I've read it. My advice to you, without disclosing what's in the email, is that there's little you can do about what happened except be honest when you're asked about it and be forthcoming. That is not something that is going to prevent you from coming to America unless I missed something in your message, okay? Zen, please confirm that you've heard what I said. I will get your email if I have a chance later on, okay? But I looked at it while the Car Guard song was playing, and your email is not urgent. It may feel urgent to you, but that is not urgent. You're welcome. If I was in the midst of a battle and someone gave me 5 things to look at, yours would be at the bottom of the pile. If I was interviewing people to come to the States for refugee status and I had interviews booked and you were next on the list, then I would consider it to be urgent. All right, so thank you. All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you'll get here. I'm just saying that is not something that will get you here. Okay, and without disclosing more, it's a common thing. Not with me, but it's a common thing. Okay, all right. People make youthful indiscretions, and we realize that. Q&A, none of your damn business. None of your damn business. Okay, Justin Lewis, representative of the UK-based judicial rights group, has written to Leo Boesel, calling for sanctions against the country. Okay. All right. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but Ambassador Boesel is the wrong person to write to. That's a waste of energy. The person to write to is the President of the United States. Ambassador Boesel has no authority to push for or implement sanctions. That's handled by the President. Once again, people that know nothing about the U.S. government trying to do something which is not the right place. Yeah, the year is whizzing by, twinkles stardust. It's already relayed the terms. Well, Sean, no dear, I still have questions about how and when that message was relayed to the government of South Africa. That's what Corné Mulder said in his briefing this morning. I did a video. Did my video get published, by the way? Let me take a look and see. Make sure I don't have any problems with it. Because I put hang on, where are we at? Okay, over here. That's what I want. Still, checks are still running. Yeah, the checks are running a long, long time here. That's why I went ahead and published it. Yeah. So, yeah, they're still running. Been running for half an hour. YouTube playing their games as usual. Yeah, so again, as I've said from the outset, when they went behind closed doors, that's when the hammer was going to be laid. And then when they came out and they said, and I've told you this all along, this is my analysis, when they came out of the meeting, and Ramaphosa did look visibly shaken when he gave the press conference, we covered that as well. And then they claimed that the meeting went well, they reset relations. I said, how? There's been nothing said. To me, the most telling part about this entire part of this visit to the States was no leaks, no discussion, nothing from the U.S. government in relation to that meeting. To me, that meant they were given a direct message and something they had to respond to. And they haven't done it. So the U.S. is not listening. That was my expectation. Now, last week on the 25th of June, the Alfred Connery delegation released a press release in which they said there were 4 preconditions. All things I've mentioned in the past in order to improve relations. So they said that, but they didn't tell us who told us that. Now, today in a press conference, which I wasn't aware of because I got notified of it after it started at 3 o'clock in the morning, right after I went to bed. So I missed it. So I had to watch it after the fact. So I couldn't engage in real time. I didn't get to cover it. Kind of disappointed in that, but hey, such is life. Anyway, the point of the story is that Corné Mulder said that this list had been previously shared with the South African government. That's all fine and dandy, but he didn't tell us who told him that. He didn't tell us when it was shared, and those are questions I think we have a legitimate basis to want to know the answer to. As I said all along, the South African government has been tone deaf and ignorant, ignoring, and we just saw it again today. I've just published a video, and that's the one that is still being checked by YouTube, and some people watched it already. That video is about another own goal. South Africa's Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs went to sign a condolence book at the Iranian embassy. A condolence book for a country that fired missiles indiscriminately and killed 27 civilians. A country that fired 160 missiles at Israel unprovoked last year, murdering civilians. A country that sponsors the Houthi, who fired a missile at Israel and civilian targets yesterday. A country that supports Hamas, who murdered 1,200 innocent civilians, raping, butchering, murdering, slaughtering, dismembering, attacking civilians at a music fest and in communities along the border. A country that supports Hezbollah. Helen says, happy 4th of July. A second. My sister says, thank you. We hope and pray. Okay. Saw the Mulder video. All true. All right. Yeah, by the way, for those who watch it, it's not a criticism of Dr. Mulder. Far from it. Just like my video yesterday wasn't a criticism of Teo Diago about AGOA. I don't understand where they're coming from this. Yep. All right. So checks are still running. Well, thank you, YouTube. That's what now? At least 25 minutes they've been running checks. Yeah. Something odd's going on there, but it's got almost 1,000 views, even though I haven't promoted it yet. So thank you for that. Maybe they'll include conditions in a letter from President Trump. No, Alex, I don't think so. But it'd be interesting if they did. The letter from President Trump will be a letter about tariffs, so it's unrelated to that issue. But we'll see. We shall see. Thank you all for the super chats. What's this? Green Mamba? I saw somebody had Green Mamba. Green Mamba multipass. Ah-ha-ha. Hello from Azania. Very impressed with the African delegation, as am I. Unfortunately, I didn't get to interview them here. Thank you, Andre Mostart. You watch my videos? Okay, yeah, so... it's acceptable. Proof is required as normal. Yep. What's a bit late? What's a bit late? What's a bit late there, Daniel? Anyway, folks, let me get to some of the news here because we've got breaking news at this hour. Sean P. Diddy Combs found innocent and found guilty on charges in his sex trafficking and prostitution and racketeering trial. Well, P. Diddy is going down. No pun intended. Sorry. Couldn't resist that one. P. Diddy's going down. Yeah. Anyway, so let's get to the news here, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll talk about this breaking news and other news affecting South Africa, Africa, the world at large, and the United States. Sean P. Diddy Combs, not guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering, but convicted of the prostitution offenses, which means he probably won't do jail time. Sean P. Diddy Combs was convicted of prostitution-related offenses, but acquitted Wednesday of sex trafficking and racketeering charges that could have put one of hip-hop's most celebrated figures behind bars for life. The mixed result came on the third day of deliberations. It could still send him to prison for as long as a decade, but I doubt that. And is likely to end his career as a hit-making music executive. I also doubt that. Yep. The charges, Combs pled not guilty to 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. 7 weeks into the trial, prosecutors dropped theories of repentant arson and a kidnapping to streamline the racketeering conspiracy count. Prosecutors called 34 witnesses since the trial's start in early May, including 2 ex-girlfriends who testified they felt coerced into marathon sex events with male sex workers who were called freak-offs. Jurors were shown about 20 minutes of video recordings from the days-long event. Defense lawyers, those say they were consensual sexual encounters consistent with swingers' lifestyle. R&B singer Cassie recounted a turbulent 10-year relationship with Combs she said was consumed by violence and obsession with a form of voyeurism. Combs chose not to testify in his trial. Look, these people, by all accounts, participated in these actions willingly. Susan, 140 Rand. Thank you, Susan, for that super chat, for all my hard work. Yeah. So, look, I the whole thing is kind of distasteful, but I don't see the coercion here, and apparently neither did the jury. I'm not really sure what the prostitution was, but apparently they came to that conclusion. Once again, last night I exposed fake news. This is fraudulent news coming from news services. This one coming from The Guardian, which is misleading with a clickbait title, falsely claiming that Trump is targeting naturalized Americans. It's total bogus nonsense. Trump is targeting people who marry their brother as a bigamist and come to America under false pretenses and become members of Congress. Who might that be? Of course, we don't know if any of that's true. That's the story. But we do know that people who committed fraud to get citizenship shouldn't be citizens. And that's what this is about. Trump's Justice Department issues a directive to strip naturalized Americans of citizenship for criminal offenses. And that is a lie. That is a lie. That is not what was going on here, folks. And as you get down and read further into the story, the memo published on June 11th, and they just noticed it on July 1st, calls for attorneys in the Department of Justice to institute civil proceedings to revoke a person's United States citizenship if an individual either illegally procured naturalization or procured naturalization by concealment of material fact or by willful misrepresentation. So if, for instance, you were in Liberia and you committed war crimes and you didn't tell them that when asked if you ever done anything wrong, we find out about later on, kind of like John Demjanjuk, we strip you of your citizenship. So this is the other thing. See, they're acting as if the Justice Department is doing something out of the norm. John Demjanjuk had his citizenship revoked by the United States. I would argue illegitimately. They never proved that he was Ivan the Terrible in Sobibor concentration camp. But they stripped him of his citizenship because of a Jewish lobby that pushed for it. He was shipped to Germany where he was tried and convicted, and then the trial was overturned and he was found innocent. He was shipped to Israel where he was tried and convicted, and he was overturned there. And he died a horrible, sad, painful existence because of these claims. Whether he was Ivan the Terrible or not is not the point I'm making here. But John Demjanjuk had his citizenship stripped of him by the Justice Department. This is not new. This is fake news by leftist hate wankers who want to distort the argument and claim that Donald Trump, because they claim he's attacking, at the center of the move are an estimated 25 million American citizens who immigrated to the country after being born abroad, according to data from 2020. It lists 10 priority categories to denaturalization. This has always been the case. It's always been the case, but it's not been a priority. Now it's a priority. People who defraud America and lie to get our citizenship do not deserve citizenship. If you are a convicted pedo from another country and you don't disclose that, that's a willful omission. Naturalization, gone. You're not a citizen. If you committed war crimes or crimes against humanity and you don't tell us, gone. If you have illegally entered the country and then somehow managed to apply for citizenship, got it, gone. Geese Brits, 140 Rand. Thank you very much for the super sticker. This is unbelievable. So this is meant to discourage people who want to come to America. It's also meant to tarnish Trump. And it's all a basket of lies. A basket of lies. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. Misogyny and against transformation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's just a matter of time. It didn't take long for Nkabani to blame misogyny. Women haters. That's why they're going after the person accused of corruption. Not because she's an idiot. Not because she's supposedly corrupt. Sean Nadir, thank you for our #1 right-wing podcaster. Who is that? Thank you for 70 Rand. Yes, it only takes moments. The moment they're accused. So all these people attacking me with ad hominem attacks. Do I accuse them of misandry? Do I accuse them of misandry? Oh, my goodness. Stupid people should wear signs. Yep, here she is. Higher education minister with a lower IQ, Mbule Nkabani, has accused political parties of misogyny and resisting transformation after the department's budget was rejected. The budget vote was rejected by political parties, including the DA and EFF, with some MPs accusing her of failing to lead the department. Nkabani said the rejection would affect the transformation of the post-school education and training sector. It's a pity and unfortunate that we're witnessing some MPs not accepting and adapting the budget. Those who reject the budget are rejecting transformation of the post-school education and training sector. They're not rejecting the budget of Nkabani. This is not the budget of Nkabani. This is the budget of the people of South Africa. When you're against transformation, it irritates a lot when you see such young women leading such a huge ministry in your presence. It's misogyny. I understand it. I know where it's coming from. And worse, it's a black woman. No, not the trifecta. No. Oh, we've just hit a home run here. It's racism, misogyny, and anti-transformation all rolled into one package. Yay! Ooh, yay! It's trifecta. It must be a right-wing conspiracy. Oh no, say it ain't so. Get the car guards in here. Where's the car guards, man? Oh my goodness. Racism. Oh my goodness. Where are the car guards? Can we get the car guards in here? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a trifecta. Breaking news from South Africa. Breaking news. That's right. Yes. Okay. Yes, here it is. In South Africa, we have a case against Nkabani. It's misogyny, racism, and anti-transformation. Where are the car guards? Oh, here they come. Here come the car guards, folks. We need the car guards to protect Nkabani. No blue light escorts, but the car guards. Here they come.
Down by the lot near the old cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Fries cars all night and day. There's a wild crew doing what they do. Yeah, you know them, the parking lot crew. Refugees with moves so tight. Waving cars in left and right. 10 ways to say, yo, park that straight. 12 for bro, you're 20 late. Neanderthals in safety vests, snack in hand, but doing their best. One grunted loud, broke out in a jig. Turns out he just wants a parking gig. Canines bark like they run the block. Chased a drone down, beat the clock. One gave change with a tail wag spin. That dog's got tips and a toothy grin. Who you gonna call when the lot gets loud? Parking codes up and they're drawing a crowd. Whistles blow and the scooters fly. It's the parking crew and the riding high. From the streets of town to the lot bazaar, they'll guard your ride like a superstar. Yeah, from Josie streets to America, it's the funky, fearless parking lot crew. Car guard shout near the garbage bin. Who parks skill? You let them in. They blow their whistles in perfect time, like a backup band with a traffic sign. Then here comes Wyatt, the colonel boss. Duct tape boots and a look that's sauce. Rides a scooter with flashing beams. Salutes pigeons, yells at ice cream. Men, dogs, eights from a line. No dents, no scrapes, no overtime. If they park
overtime.
Like chaos, made a plan. Fight them twice and be the man. Who's got the to America. It's the wild, proud parking lot crew.
The trifecta of misogyny, racism, and anti-transformation. Call the car guards out now. Get the blue light escort. It's the trifecta. Misogyny, racism, and anti-transformation. Here come the car guards. Yeah, brother. Bring it out. Bring the cones out. Bring the whistles. Bring the canines. It's Neanderthal time. Yeah.
In safety vests, snack in hand, but doing their best. One grunted loud, broke out in a jig. Turns out he just wants a parking gig. Canines bark like they run the block. Chase the drone down, beat the clock. One gave change with a tail wag spin. That dog's got tips and a toothy grin. Who you gonna call when the lot gets loud? Parking cones up and a draw in a crowd. Whistles blow and the scooters fly. It's the parking crew and the riding high. From the streets of town to the lot bazaar, they'll guard your ride like a superstar. Yeah, from Josie streets to America, it's the funky, fearless parking lot crew.
Misogyny, racism, and transformation.
The funky, fearless parking lot crew. Car guard shouting in the garbage bin. Who parks you? You let 'em in. They blow their whistles in perfect time, like a backup band with a traffic sign. Then here comes Wyatt, the colonel boss. Duct tape boots and a look that's sauce. Rides a scooter with flashing beams. Salutes pigeons, yells at ice cream. Men, dogs, apes form a line. No dents, no scrapes, no overtime. If they park like chaos, made a plan. Find 'em twice and be the man. Find 'em twice and be the man. Find 'em twice and be the man. Who's got the beat in a vested hat? Parking legends funky like that. Guard your eye with soul and flair. In a high-fi breeze in the summer air. From this line here to America, it's the wild, proud parking lot crew.
Misogyny, racism, and transformation. This is what anyone who criticizes Nkabani is guilty of, according to the logic of the African National Congress. When in doubt, pull out the racism card. When that doesn't work, pull out the misogyny card. When that doesn't work, say they're anti-transformation. They just want poor black children to starve to death because they're evil, evil white people who want all the money for themselves. It's mine, it's all mine. Good Lord, this is so tiresome, so annoying, so idiotic. Stupid, stupid, stupid stuff. Unbelievable, folks. But hey, when nothing else works, pull it out. Pull it out. Whip it out. You can whip it. When a problem comes along, you must whip it. Whip it. Whip it good. Oh my goodness, Devo. Elmarie Swart, your messages are being read. I've seen several of them. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Misogyny and against transformation. Well, thank you for your input there, Miss Nkabani. Wow. Well, another own goal by South Africa's Director of International Relations Cooperation as their Deputy Minister, Thandi Moraka, travels to the Iranian Islamic Republic of Iran's embassy to sign a condolence book. Yes, Deputy Minister Moraka is signing the book of condolence at the embassy of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Deputy Minister is received by the ambassador of Iran, Mr. Shakib Meir. Ooh. And Joel Pollack has exposed this story, and I've just done a video. Let's see if it's still available or if it got shut down by YouTube. Where the heck am I going here? Here we go. Right. Still checks. Checks are still running now a whole 40 minutes after I loaded the video. You know something's going on there. Yeah, YouTube's trying to hide the video. Hide the video because I talk about Iran. Wow. Car guard upgrade. There you go. Anyway, so Joel Pollack wrote a story about this, covered this for Breitbart, the managing editor for Breitbart. Says South Africa pays homage to the Ayatollah, signs Iran's condolence book. Yep. South Africa's Foreign Affairs Minister posted a photograph of a senior official with a portrait of the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the so-called supreme leader of Iran. She signed a condolence book for Iran in Pretoria. It's not clear what the condolences were for. Most of Iran's senior military command, which was engaged in missile attacks and terror attacks, was killed by Israel during the 12-day war. Yep, but another own goal. Hey, here's our goal. Let's see if we can score. Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable. Well, the United States, according to the Afrikaner delegation, is demanding exemptions for BE. Yet to be discussed with Ramaphosa. Well, that's a misrepresentation of what was said. I'm sorry. Mashudu Sadike, that is a misrepresentation of what was said. In this press conference that was held earlier today while I was sleeping, while you were sleeping with Sandra Bullock, in this press conference, Corne Mulder said that this information had been relayed to the South African government. He didn't tell us when. That's part of the confusion. This article implies that that message had never been given to the South African government, which, according to Corne Mulder, is factually incorrect. But I've not interviewed him yet, so I have to wait till I talk to him. So I believe that this journalist is incorrect, and that is fake news. Well, the MK party is in free fall, ladies and gentlemen. The Umkhonto we Sizwe party. If you're looking to join a political party, you want to join the MK party, I'd suggest you give it a little bit of time. The party is still settling down. Still settling down. MK coordinator in KZN resigns, joins Shivambu's Mayubue. Yeah. In a dramatic political twist, MK regional coordinator for Umkhonto, the Umkhanyakduke district in KZN has resigned, condemning the party as a family and friends business rather than a true vehicle for black liberation. Well, of course it's a family and friends business. There isn't a single party that's black in South Africa that's for black people. They're all friends and family operations, every one of them. It's the Meerkat Party. The Meerkat Party. Where's my meerkat? I think I put him downstairs. I had a meerkat that I used to keep on the shelf here. Shanez Abraham says, you sleep? Well, it was for a few minutes. Yeah, MK Party. And speaking more of the MK Party, John Schlope. They are like the meerkats. The MK Party is a meerkat party. That's a brilliant analogy because you know what? They always have to be watching for threats. And we got a super chat there from Geo81984. It's a super sticker saying, get good, get good. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's MK Party's John Schlope asked Zuma to disband the top management structure. Oh my God, this party is imploding as we speak. Look at those angry faces. The MK Party has several leadership structures, and this has led to several attempts at power grabs. One of the structures is the top management structure, which is supposedly meant to oversee the whippery and the caucus. Whippery, is that a word? In a letter to party president Jacob Zuma, Deputy President John Schlope has proposed dissolving the structure and integrating his functions into the whippery team instead. Wow. Well, more chaos in the Meerkat Party. That's what we're going to call them, the Meerkat Party. Which is a shame. Meerkats are wonderful creatures. I wouldn't want to associate them with these clowns. Elmarie Swart just gave 10 memberships. Thank you for it, Elmarie. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you. Ah, my boy. All right, a court battle is looming. Now we know why there were delays at OR Tambo yesterday for domestic international flights, because the security guards apparently must have walked off their job, I'm presuming, because there's a dispute over a tender. Well, surprise, surprise, a BE tender that someone's unhappy about. Usually the pigs at the trough are the ones unhappy. Yep. Oh, my goodness. Timon and Pumbaa. That's right, Meerkat Manor. Court battle looms amid OR Tambo security chaos as K9 firm challenges tender process. Wow. RAPS K9 Law Enforcement, the company at loggerheads with Airports Company South Africa over a critical security tender at major airports, including OR Tambo, has threatened to take the matter to court. Lawyers representing K9 in the dispute are gearing up for approach to court to force Airports Company South Africa to accept their demands, including halting the tender process, allowing open bidding, and extending the invitation to bid to other qualified companies. Wow. Interesting. Meanwhile, operations at OR Tambo have ground almost to a halt, longer than usual delays, people being told to check in online and just carry on so you can get through. Come 3 hours early. That's how bad things are at OR Tambo. Chaotic scenes unfolded yesterday at OR Tambo. A guard explained that airport management was aware several contracts were set to end on June 30th. Despite this, no contingency plans were put in place. He warned the travelers should arrive at least 3 hours ahead of the domestic flight times instead of the usual 2 due to the unpredictable queues. This is a management issue. The airport knew since last year the contracts were ending on June 30th, yet nothing was done to prepare. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the corrupt, inept, moronic, state-owned enterprises. They've known for a year. Is that true? They've known for a year. They knew the contracts would expire on 30 June 2025. They did nothing to ensure that security personnel were there to check you at the security points. What kind of government is this? What kind of leadership is this? It's pathetic. It's the Cater Republic of South Africa. Virtual Western Cape has hit a spot on money. The Cater Republic of South Africa reporting for duty. Where's my tender? Yes. Wow. Well, Eckerlini's forensic auditor was murdered in what may be an assassination attempt. We're yet to find out. Gunned down on the road in Kempton Park. Mpo Mafole, head of Eckerlini's forensic audits and investigations, was shot and killed while driving the R23 in Kempton Park. Authorities are probing the motive behind the murder with no evidence currently linking it to Mafole's professional duties. Wow, he was murdered. Awarding households in South Africa that rely on electric fences, you've got a lot of hoops to go over. You could wind up in jail. If someone is injured or dies on your electric fence, you could go to jail. Imagine that. South African households and businesses that use electric fencing should be aware that failing to comply with relevant laws, which are very complicated, could result in imprisonment or fines. Wow. Attorneys explain that even though the 10,000-volt electric fencing allowed for home use is not lethal, when touched, entanglement can cause serious injury or death. So, among the requirements for home electric fencing are installation must be on a wall with a minimum height of 1.5 meters, maximum outward angle of 45 degrees installed on the inside of the boundary wall, neighbors consent if the brackets angle into their property, installation operation in a way that won't cause hazard or entanglement to people or animals. Well, isn't that the whole point? Isn't that the whole point? To keep people from getting in? Mark says, genuine question, Colonel, are you not concerned? Okay, it's a genuine question, but I'm not going to answer it. I'm not going to concern. Mark, why would I be concerned about that? That is why would you ask a question like that? Yeah, that's not helpful. You just encourage people who have ill intent. That's why I don't announce my last trip, because of death threats. Okay? All right? The MK party continues being chaos. Thank you for the $5 chat, Mark. MK party, Shlope fires Ndele yesterday from the Whippery and complains to Zoom about Dudazilla. This party is a dumpster fire. It's just out of control. It's a dumpster fire. South African Revenue Services warned expatriate South Africans, if you don't discontinue your tax status in South Africa, they will come looking for you. They will come looking for you. Yeah, do they not want you to install ladders so they can climb over your electric fence? Exactly. South African Revenue Services tightened the screws on expats with new declarations and screening systems that could trigger audits and penalties. Changes will affect any expats who have returned to South Africa or those who left without formally ending their tax residency and may come back one day. SARS now requires expats to declare themselves as being tax resident again in their tax forms, something not required before. So they keep changing the laws to make you criminals without notifying you of that. I had to read it in the media. SARS didn't send that out to taxpayers. Wow. Jesse Creel will get his first ever official test match captaincy, wearing the band, on Saturday against Italy at Loftus Versfeld. He was the captain last week in the exhibition game against the Barbarians, which the Springboks rolled out a 54-7 victory in torrential rain in Cape Town, the mother city, at the DHL Greenpoint Stadium. Jesse Creel will be the captain in that outside center position because Sia Khaleesi's Achilles is still a problem. Sia is ruled out for the first game. Rasmus said that scans showed that there wasn't much wrong with Khaleesi's tendon, but said they didn't want to take any chances. So each of the players are expected to get no more than 8 tests this year as they rotate up to 50 people through the roster. Springboks. Early humans used ochre for advanced toolmaking at Blombos Cave. A recent study by researchers at Sapien CE has revealed that ochre, previously considered primarily a symbolic pigment, played a crucial role in the production of sophisticated stone tools by early modern humans in Blombos Cave during the Middle Ages, between 90 and 70,000 years ago. So, I'm sorry, the Bantu weren't there. The white folks weren't there. The Khoi and San weren't there. These were other hominids, so you can all get the fuck out of South Africa right now. Doesn't belong to anybody. Oh, it was stolen from us. No. Apartheid, no. Colonization, no. There are other hominids there. Get out. Leave now. Get out. Get out. This for the likes of the crowd that call Europeans Neanderthals. Look at this. What were your hominids doing there? While examining previously excavated artifacts in a laboratory in Cape Town, archaeologist Elizabeth Felicki discovered an ochre fragment bearing wear patterns distinct from the typical grinding marks used for pigment production. Intrigued, she presented the artifacts to colleagues Francesco De Erico, Karen van Niekerk, and Christopher Henselwood. Their examination confirmed the fragment had been deliberately shaped and used in a previously undescribed way. As they continued to sort through more discoveries, further ochre artifacts with the same marks appeared, 7 in total, resulting in reassessment of the use of ochre in early human life. early human life. Ladies and gentlemen, these were not Bantu. These were not Europeans. These were not Khoi. These were not San. These were the OG inhabitants of South Africa. The rest of them, get out. Get out! Well, Iran was making plans to mine the Straits of Hormuz, according to U.S. intelligence. Not a good look. Previously unreported preparations, which were detected by U.S. intelligence, occurred sometime after Israel launched its initial missile attack on June 13th. 1 billion people are backing you. The Chi-Coms love Elon Musk because he's fighting with Donald Trump. Tesla CEO's feud with U.S. president dominates the Chinese social media, with many praising his tech-driven mindset. Few breakups have as many gossiping observers as the fallout between the once inseparable Donald Trump and Elon Musk. The ill-fated bromance between the president, the world's richest man, which once raised questions about American oligarchy, is now being poured over by social media users in China, many of whom are Team Musk. The latest drama comes from Musk's pledge to found a new political party, the America Party. Oh boy, the Chinese love it. On Wednesday, hours after the bill passed the Senate, the hashtag Musk wants to build an American party went viral on Weibo, a Chinese social media platform. 37 million views. Oh, the Chi-Coms are trying to disturb American politics. They always do. Trump says that Israel has agreed to a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza, waiting for Hamas to respond. The death toll rose to more than 36 after an explosion in a pharmaceutical factory in southern India on Monday. Thailand's prime minister was suspended over leaked Cambodia call, and it's being used against her. She's been suspended by the courts. The United States will no longer send some weapons to Ukraine to fuel a war precipitated by Volodymyr Zelensky, Vladimir Putin, and Joseph Robinette Biden, as well as Jens Stoltenberg. A 92-year-old rapist, serial rapist, and murderer racist has finally been caught in the United Kingdom after raping and murdering a woman in 1967. The oldest and coldest of cold cases has been resolved. He's been convicted of rape and murder, and he will go back to prison where he was placed for rape, for murdering, or for raping women decades ago. This racist rapist is in jail or going to stay there for the rest of his natural life at the age of 92. Proof that cold cases never go ice cold. UK Prime Minister endures a bitter attack on his character over welfare as UK MPs continue to want to give handouts to people who are not worthy of handouts. Yes, Keir Starmer in trouble in the UK. Trump announces a deal with Vietnam, ladies and gentlemen. So we have a deal with the UK and now with Vietnam, but not with the EU, not with South Africa, not with Canada, but we have a trade deal. But unfortunately for the Vietnamese, it's a 20% tariff. That's going to bite into their advantage. Their advantage of cheap labor is going to be hurt by this. Trump announces Vietnam trade deal, 20% tariff on imports to the U.S. President Trump said Wednesday that the United States has struck a trade deal with Vietnam that includes a 20% tariff on the Southeast Asian country's imports. Trump's announcement on Truth Social said the deal will give U.S. tariff-free access to Vietnam's markets. Vietnam also agreed that goods would be hit with 40% tariff if they originate in another country and were transferred to Vietnam for final shipment. A process known as transshipping is used to circumvent trade barriers. China is a key violator of that. They've used Vietnam as a transshipment hub. Wow. So there you go. Just days before it's all over. So we get duty-free access to Vietnam, but they got to pay 20% tariff. Well, that's not fair. But given the artificial advantages that Vietnam has, I understand why they did it. But not fair for Vietnam. Too bad, so sad. And the tariffs are just a temper tantrum by Trump. They've accomplished nothing. Really? That's all everybody's talking about is the tariffs. It's all everybody's talking about. The trade deal with Japan is in jeopardy, Strife. It's in jeopardy. It may fall apart based on something Japan did this week. So that's still up in the air. Tesla shares dropped in this feud with Trump. Second quarter deliveries also down. Wall Street analysts are expecting Tesla to report deliveries of 387,000 versus 444,000 a year ago. Yep. Look at that. Closing price dropped $23 from $323 to $300. Wow, that's only $280 more than I'm willing to pay for Tesla. When it drops to $20 a share, call me. Trump says he'll look at deporting Musk as feud reignites. This is fake news by ABC. Who else? President Donald Trump told reporters his administration will have to take a look at deporting Elon Musk after billionaire reignited the feud with President on a spending bill. Trump pushed back in Truth Social with a post claiming Musk was upset about the bill and that Elon would have to close shop and head back home to South Africa. Yeah, that's not a threat to deport him. That is fake news. Fake news. Trump did not threaten to deport Elon Musk. Elon Musk responds to Trump's back home to South African comments because he didn't say deport him. He called the president's comments so disappointing. Good Lord. Oh my goodness. And Elon Musk threatens a war against the entire Republican Party. Yeah, you think Elon Musk has our interest at heart? He doesn't. He has Elon Musk's interest at heart. Well, Trump's birthright citizenship could impact all 50 states on July 27th. Washington, Oregon, and 20 states sued the Trump administration over birthright citizenship earlier this year. Federal judges issued nationwide injunctions blocking Trump's ban from taking effect. But last week, Supreme Court ruled to restrict federal judges' authority to grant nationwide injunctions, which they never had, stating the injunctions should only be broad enough to cover plaintiffs in the lawsuit. Correct. Supreme Court did not rule on the constitutionality of the citizenship ban. Until that happens, lower courts must decide how to reconfigure their injunctions. For the 28 states that did not sue Trump, this could mean Trump's birthright citizenship ban goes into effect on July 27th. Supreme Court left open the alternative pathway for those seeking to block Trump's ban, a class action lawsuit. Within hours of the Supreme Court's ruling, advocacy groups behind one of the legal challenges to Trump's ban reconfigured their lawsuit seeking class action status to represent all pregnant people and I'm sorry, you mean pregnant women and children born to families without legal status in the United States. To date, this is one of 2 lawsuits that have sought class action status following Supreme Court's ruling. So this is what will happen on July 27th. These states will be able to ban birthright citizenship for illegal aliens who are not here legitimately. And that is a day long overdue. Pennsylvania, proudly part of that. We didn't join this idiotic lawsuit. So these are the states that sued the Trump administration, and a whole passel of left-wing hate-wanking states like Illinois, Wisconsin, New York, Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut, New Jersey, Maryland, sadly North Carolina, New Mexico, Colorado, and Arizona Colorado, Arizona, and Nevada used to be reliably conservative, as was California, but they're gone. These are just losers, and Hawaii included in that. So, who's at risk? Well, birthright citizenship will affect as many as 4 million illegals. These are U.S.-born children with a parent without legal status. 1.8 million live in households where both parents lack status. Children born into the latter group after July 27 may be at risk of being stateless. No, they're not stateless. They get citizenship in the country of their parents' origin. Yep. They get citizenship in the country of their parents' origin. As far as the others, that's nonsensical. If you have a U.S. parent and you're born in America, it doesn't matter what the status of the other parent is, you're an American citizen. So that's not going to be questioned. You don't need funds for Telegram. Telegram is free. Telegram is a free program. Well, another nova explosion has occurred. Fantastic celestial events taking place. Just days after a nova appeared in the night sky, another joined it. V572 Velorum in the constellation Vela joins V462 Lupi and Lupus. Both are now visible to the naked eye to observers in the southern hemisphere and currently shining millions of times brighter than usual. This remarkable coincidence, judged to be extremely rare by astronomers, has occurred as astronomers await the explosion of T Corona Borealis in Corona Borealis, which is known to explode and shine brightly every 80 years or so. So there you go, folks. 2 novas. Wow. The blast from the nova creates a shock wave that can expand at speeds of 7 million miles per hour. 11 million kilometers per hour. Can you imagine that? That's pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the news for today. Be sure to hit the like button. And thank you all for the super chats thus far. That's amazing. Well, I didn't say supernovas. They're 2 novas. That's incredible. Supernovas are the ones that can create the heavy metals like gold and platinum and things like that we rely on. Only in those places. Think about it. All of us are stardust reassembled into this form. Into car guards, Neanderthals, right-wing podcasters. Yeah, well, we're not really 50-minute news utopia because we actually had a few songs in there. Pink art exhibition in Canada. I have not seen that. Telegram seems to be, no, it's not. And more and more we're considering using it. Well, then just block them, Roxy. Block them. It's not an enabler if you don't let people add you to groups. I've never come across that once in Telegram. I've got oodles and oodles and oodles of comments and communication. I was born in the USA, not just a citizen if you want to run for president. You must be born on U.S. soil, Anton. That's why Barack Hussein Obama and John McCain were able to run in 2008. Neither of them was born in the United States. Neither one. However, they were born on U.S. soil. Let me explain. Barack Hussein Obama purportedly was born in Alaska, which was a territory at his birth, not a state, but a U.S. territory. John McCain was the son of an admiral in the U.S. Navy and born in the Canal Zone in Panama, which was U.S. soil. Therefore, they could both run for president. But you must be born in the United States or on U.S. soil in order to be president. That is correct. That is why Arnold Schwarzenegger could never run for president. He was born in Austria. What does your name mean, Arnold? Schwarzenegger means black plowman. That's not what it means. Schwarzenegger doesn't mean black plowman. It's his polite way of saying what it meant. Musk and Trump fighting so the left stop attacking Tesla in USA and other places. Maybe. Musk banned it for the illegals. Agreed. Cameras are a joke. They get cultural enrichment disappearance. Musk and Trump are fine. They're trolling the world. Really? Okay. Fake news. Where are all the black-owned businesses after 31 years of freedom? What was the point of fighting freedom if you don't know what to do with it when you get it? Well, Buster B, that's a good question. Where are all the black-owned businesses when everyone else has been aced out of the market, when you can't get a government tender unless you're black-owned business? That alone should make lots of South Africans who are black wealthy and prosperous, but it hasn't. The money's all gone in the hands of the connected elite cadres and their friends and family. Yep. Elon's not running any show, Anthea. What are you talking about? As far as I know, Elon can never become president. That's correct. Said Anton. Karen says, a while back, they wanted all private CCTV cameras registered. I think, sure if they wanted to link them to subsequent. That's a ridiculous thing. I mean, CCTV cameras could be anything on the internet. A webcam is a CCTV camera. You want to expect millions of those registered? Who can even manage that? They want access to it. That's why. USA trade deal with Japan is in jeopardy. What can Vietnam offer us? Cheap clothing? Some manufactured goods? Yep. Sorry, I'm late. Did you check that bill out? No, I didn't. So that was not a democracy. It's a parasitocracy. Majority votes in the government that enables them to feed off minorities from BE and AA. Police want to take action against me for using broken glass on a fence. That's very common in Africa. In Liberia, that's the norm. People, they pour concrete and they put broken glass in it. Yep. Elon arrived in South Africa in his private plane. No. Stop bombing Tesla, full stop, okay? The early mankind has more brains than most of Parliament. That's true. Sandy says they can F off with those pathetic rules. Yet, oddly, taxation works superbly well here and ruthlessly enforced. Milk, anyone? I like that, Twinkles. The bugger off bunnies here. 30% pass rate for grade 12. Reasons why electoral fences are a problem. ANC wants us all dead, hence restrict our defense systems. Yeah, they are trying to restrict your ability to defend yourself. Just like when they enter your property, unless they are unalive or injured you first, you can't defend yourself. Exactly, Vera. Vera, you're 100% correct. Steve Hofmeier's father was captain of the Barbarians. Was he? I didn't know that. Huh. Don't discriminate against criminals, says Tom. During a question to Dr. Mulder at press conference, he says the White House saw the Ron Posa meeting as a fiasco. What is NISA YouTube channel? I didn't cover that. I will. What fresh hell is South Africa now? New strict legislation regarding electric fencing. Yep. Well, it's not new. It's always been there. People just aren't aware of it. A crap hole country is a crap hole country, no matter what you name it, says Susan. Car Guard Republic. We can't allow theft prevention to actually work. That would be racist. Exactly. So we want to regulate how much we can defend ourselves. Exactly. Do they now want you to install a ladder for the... Yes, they do want you to install a ladder so they can break in. Okay, Mornay is here in the chat. Mark asked that question. In quoting President Trump when asked what type of government this is, well, they don't know what the F they're doing. That was Iran and Israel. But yes, the quote is applicable. They don't know what the F they're doing. That was funny. I should download that. Tired of listening to the ANC cockprot in America when ANC will be gone and forgotten. Yeah, well, they will be forgotten at some point. Matthew Schaefer, thank you for your membership. I missed that. Each meerkat has his own fleas sucking on their host. News 24 cockprot. Okay, use them. Someone would like to know, what's this? Would like to help. Oh, okay, Maze is trying to help Mornay. Colonel, I guess if you listen to everything ANC says, just turn 180 degrees. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that should be your guidepost. Kind of like when I grew up and the adult figures in my life, many of them, I simply did everything 180 degrees opposite of what they did to be successful in life. And it's worked pretty well. So whatever the ANC tells you, just turned 180 degrees, and that's the truth. It's in the opposite direction on your compass. Yep. Rib Rascal, welcome to you. Mario Jacobs, welcome. Did you see Byron and Mark's interview? Byron said your claims that there were more refugees that first group is totally unverified. Byron and Mark who? Mark who? Mark who? Who's Mark? Enofish, tell me who that is before I start a crap storm over that. Totally unverified. Really? Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I need to know that interview where it's at. If that's true, that's the second time that Byron has pulled that crap. If it's true. Make a Meerkat song. I should make a Meerkat song. There's a lot of Meerkats in the Kalahari, too. Let me make a note of that Meerkat song, man. Meerkat. Make a Meerkat song. Make a note of that so when I'm done, Meerkat song. Cool beans. We'll make it. MK party. We'll see how it goes. Yep. I didn't see that, so please tell me where that's at. Been offline for a few days as I've been in Cape Town, disappointed at the decline of the city over the last... Oh, yeah. No, I tell people that. Everyone's like, everything's fine. The Western Cape where the DA gets things done. It's all copacetic here. Things are great. Things are wonderful in Cape Town. Ladies and gentlemen, things aren't great in the mother city. Things are not looking great in the mother city. It may look better than the rest of South Africa, but, you know, that's a pretty low bar to get under. We could limbo under that bar pretty easily. It's a high bar to get under, I should say. Yeah, it's a low bar of expectations, high bar for chaos. Jay-Z is a Mugabe in waiting. Yeah, he's not going to be around all that long. Yeah, Anno Fish, please tell me where that is from. So I've given you a chance to answer that question if you're still here, Anno Fish. Let me go back to the bottom and see if you've mentioned it. Okay, I don't see anything here from Anno Fish since I said that. Well, that doesn't help me. Who is Mark? Mark who? Mark Oppenheimer? Yeah, okay, that doesn't help me on Morning Shot. They've got a bunch of videos, guys. Is it Mark Oppenheimer? Solar batteries, switch lost a bit. Sorry to that. Thank you. Interview with Mark Oppenheimer. Okay, let's go there. So, unconfirmed, huh? Okay, so basically calling me a liar. Is that what he's saying? Wow. No, I don't recommend Pennsylvania, Sean. Stay away from here. I don't know where you're from, what you like, what kind of environment you like. At Morning Shot. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Morning Shot. See what interview. See, I got a bunch of videos, but nothing from Mark Oppenheimer being pushed here in front. Daily News, interviews. I don't see anything with Mark Oppenheimer. Let's go to videos. Okay, and it should list them most recent. DA. DA. Oh, there it is. Mark Oppenheimer, 4 days ago. Okay. Interesting. 4150. Okay, 4150. Let's go. Thank you for that. That's helpful. Let's go there. 4150. 4150. I'll start at 41.
Pops took like 4 hours to arrive. Like the protest was done before they even got there. They were like, "Oh, we're going to get the police, the dog unit here," and then they realized they had no dog unit. And so it's interesting. I actually watched them want to be really heavy-handed with them, just to show them that they know who was boss. But they could not organize that for love or money. And the protest finished. Like it was like a 30-minute protest on the beach where they were like, "No, we don't want lockdowns."
Still not there.
It was like state could do nothing about it. Like they wanted to, but there's nothing there that they could not organise it.
Yeah, I suppose our government's a little bit like a drunk who wants to get an erection. It's sort of striving for the will to power, but it just lacks the stamina and the source.
7 seconds.
So, what's your view of coming then onto this refugee thing? What's your view on the refugee status that Trump wants to offer South Africans? Whether or not he is still taking refugees, I don't know. I've heard all sorts of conflicting news and. Chris Wyatt suggested that there was a second trove of refugees that went to the US on commercial planes. It's been unverified by pretty much everybody. I think News 24 made a comment on his stream on it, where he suggested some people have gone there. But so far, officially, we only know of the first sway that left. Unofficially, supposedly, some more may have gone. I don't know. The actual criteria around it is still hit and miss. You know, the documentation issued by the Americans was very loose, specifically around what categories or how they were assessing this, or even the process they were going through. It's still very loose. What's your view? There's
no documents issued by the U.S. government. I don't know what he's talking about here. There are no documents issued regarding this. Everything that you need to know is available on U.S. Embassy website for the 1 billionth time, za.usembassy.gov. For those who can read modern standard written English, it's pretty simple. For those who can't understand the words that I speak that are in clear English, if I need to do it in German or French or Tswana, you let me know. Okay, so, yeah. Well, if he copyright strikes me on that, then that will be the end of a relationship. Wow. No, Byron does watch my content, and we have a program out here called Briberoos. So I'm a little bit taken back about that, but whatever. He's saying there's no evidence of it. So basically what he's telling you is that I'm unreliable as a journalist and that I'm lying. That's what he's saying. I mean, he didn't say that, but that's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. Fine, if that's his view, if he wants to live in cognitive dissonance while the neighborhoods are depleted of South Africans, fine. People want to live in a dream world, that's fine. There was no documentation. What documentation is he looking for? Everything that you need to know about the program is listed. So I'll tell you, let's put it this way. If I'm being punked by an awful lot of people with information I've been able to verify. So I'm not really sure. I don't know why. That was an unnecessary slight to me. I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, we've had interviews with refugees. Now, I haven't had anyone from the second batch come on. And so that's the gist of this. Chris said there's a second batch. There was. And more people have come this week. Now I have left these refugees alone, but my reputation is being slandered here, so I guess I'll have to reach out and see if they want to come on the program. I'll ask them to come on the program now, folks. I will ask them to come on the program. I had not bothered them letting them get set up, but I will reach out and ask if they want to come on the program. Yeah, I mean, I don't attack people over their claims if they're legitimate, so I don't get it. Whatever. I'm not trying to start a fight here. You guys asked me about it. I played it. And, that's his opinion. But it flies in the face of objective facts. So I don't know. There's no documents that would be coming. So I don't know.
A legitimate case to be made that refugee status should be granted to well, remember, it's not just Afrikaners. Now it's a minority.
It's always been minorities. I said that from the outset. I said I think it should be minorities. And on the 10th of February, it isn't now. It's been the 10th of February. The U.S. Embassy issued a statement on their website. It said ethnic minorities. It was later clarified on the 12th of May to be racial minorities. That's always been the case. The fact that people don't want to listen and don't pay attention to the news isn't my fault. It's always been people like that. It's always been racial minorities. It's always been since the 10th of February. It was announced on 7th February, and the embassy put out a statement on the 10th of February with the clear intent of ethnic minorities, later quantified to be racial minorities. That is not now. That's always been the case. 10 February to 2 July, it hasn't changed.
He's in South Africa.
Yeah. I suppose there's different ways in which you could do it. The one would be by saying these ethnic minority groups all automatically should be granted refugee status. And
okay, now they're just discussing it. Well, that's interesting. So yeah. Anyway, wow. I don't know. Are you guys trying to? Whoever, Anna Fish, or you guys want to start some beef between Byron and I? I overlooked the previous time. It's actually the third time. Remember being minorities since my son's birthday, February 25th. I think Byron doesn't research the refugee program in detail because it's not his personal interest. So what? I still get morning shot. Well, Freya, I didn't tell you not to get the morning shot, but there's no reason for that comment about me. Basically, that translates into Chris is a liar. I mean, that's what I got from it. That's what I got from it. I have no idea. There was no mention of any bill before Congress there. It was a mention of the second batch of refugees that came over. And I got confirmation last night that more refugees are arriving in the next couple of days. Okay? All right? Anyway, look, I'm not looking for a fight. You guys want to chat about this, that's fine. I'm not looking for a fight there. Anyway. You can see a video of it with 3 people. Theo, I'll confirm refugees. No. Okay, guys, don't. Okay, let's be clear. He's not denying the first batch of 59 came over. What he said there is that there's no evidence that the second group came over. And there have been people come over since then. Happy to move along swiftly. Exactly. Well, anyway, so that's why people are always sending me that stuff. I don't usually get involved in it, but basically that's what that message said to me. So whatever. You know, he previously told people that I told the refugees what they wanted to hear, and that's factually incorrect, and that's dishonest. So I don't know why that was said. That was unnecessary and gratuitous. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, not going to get involved in it. Not going to get involved in it. Rakes? What's Rakes say? They give a figure. Who gives a figure? Well, he's welcome to shine a bad light on the whole thing, but attacking me is unnecessary. There's no reason to attack me. I haven't attacked him. I'm not attacking him either. Not attacking him, and I've promoted Morning Shot for years, and we have a segment on here. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, that's how I got thrust into this refugee thing. I don't know. I don't know how I got thrust into this stuff. Anyway, all I was doing was reporting the facts. People got a bit too obsessed with refugees as groups. The first group was once off. Exactly, Freya. That's what I said. See, that's the thing. And that's what I've said. And that's the other thing. So, you know, to basically call me a liar when I've said that people are coming over on commercial flights, not really in groups, I've said that. Anyway, the booger of Bunny is here. He says hello to everybody. How y'all doing? Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody once again here on July 2nd as we're halfway through the year for that awesome plaque. I mean, it's not as good as they used to be. They downsides because they're cheap bastards at YouTube. But yeah, this is the 100,000 subscriber plaque. Thank you guys for that. I mean, I could have done it by myself, but it's hard to create 100,000 fictitious YouTube accounts. That's very time consuming. So I subscribed, and then 99,999 other people did. So thank you for that. That's really cool. I made a lot of jokes about taking this out in the woods and shooting with a shotgun. Then I got a 24-hour timeout by YouTube for waving a firearm on air when I didn't wave a firearm on air. So I don't dare shoot this thing and then put a video on because I'll definitely get in trouble. Yikes. What's that? It seems, James Duvall says, it seems like everyone with money and some followers is trying to disparage us from going USA. What do they have to gain? Well, also, James, lots of people with followers, or lots of people who desire to have followers, are suddenly attacking me. But all their attacks, that's the closest thing. I'm not calling it an attack. That's the closest thing where someone criticized me on a factual basis. I can prove that. But all the other things, the actual attacks have been ad hominem attacks. They're attacking me because I'm me. Not what I say, not my analysis, not my bona fides. They don't address that because then they'll be obliterated by people who call them out. Anyway, whether it's the people about the pets or the transport containers or asylum or whatever, or YouTubers trying to get traction in South Africa by, attacking me, going, oh, look at this guy, man, he's a white supremacist. Nope, you're just making crap up. Miss V says, off to quiz night. Oh, cool. Had quiz night at the Veterans Organization last night. I used to be very good at those. They changed quiz masters. I used to get every question right. So apparently that was pretty good. The quiz master I have now has asked far too many Taylor Swift questions. So I don't do that. Well, that's how it was supposed to be, not announced for safety and personal. Exactly. I also told people that, and I told them that the first one was a charter flight. That's not how it's going to be in the future. That's on a Bree Street plaque. Bree Street. You mean Deep Sloot? Peter Feldman, do you mean Deep Sloot? There is a sense here that the frog is finally boiled in the pot using the... Yep, I think people are in a stage to know. No, I don't think that Mark Oppenheimer is in a stage to know. Thank you, Andre Appelgren. Yeah, I wish people would stop trying to create discord and giving personal opinions about people they don't even know. Yep, I know Byron, so I don't know why he said that. No, that video was just posted 4 days ago. It says 4 days ago. So I don't know when he did the interview. Hendo says the plaque stays up. Next time, abuse an AI to create another 900,000 accounts to follow you. There you go. Thank you, Liz Groenewald. People love drama. That's true, Side Off Arcana. People love drama. They love the drama. Exactly, Josar Smith. Because there's no media coverage does not mean it's not happening. Again, when the refugee thing happened, I had ENCA, Daily Maverick, News 24, I think, I'm trying to remember, Dutch Film Crew, like 5 different media outlets, CBS News, all contact me and want to talk to me. But they don't want to talk to me. They want to talk to the refugees. They couldn't get the refugees because the way the press handled it at the airport of Tambo pissed the refugees off. So they didn't want anything to do with it. So because those people, some of them anyway, trusted me, they agreed to talk to me. And we saw the first interview. BBC lied. They claimed they had the first interview with Charles Kleinhaus, and he didn't. Charles was in Buffalo when they interviewed him, and it wasn't the first interview with a refugee. I had the first interview. They can lie all they want at BBC. It's state-owned propaganda. I had the first interview with Thea von Sotten in Linwood East. And you know, I never get any credit for this. You know, no one has ever said this, but I'm going to just say something very quickly here because I'm a little torqued off right now about a few things. But let me get the super chats. Off to quiz night. Thank you for the 140 Rand. Then there was Jolanda MB Mayer, 35 Rand. Super sticker. Thank you for that. Okay, so let me... so let me just say this. I don't think people realize... If I were in this for the clicks, if I were in this for the fame and for the attention and for money, and that's what it was all about, I would never have had the Opa Plus meet and greet. I would not have risked that interview with Thea. I would have had the interview, and as soon as it was done and I edited it, I would have released it that night before they even left South Africa. Before they left South Africa. But what did I do? I sat on that interview until it was confirmed that they had landed in Washington, D.C. Why? To protect their anonymity and protect their safety. That's what people of integrity do. That's what I did. Elmer Swart, thank you for the 70 Rand. Yep. So, you know, but no one ever recognizes that. Thea recognized that. She was grateful for that, but almost no one ever recognizes that's how I handle that. And so, meantime, all these other people claim false things. Yeah, I don't get the South African approach to questions, taking 3 questions. It's stupid. Boss Louis, 14 Rand, thank you for that. Dawn Jansa van Rensburg, hello to you, thank you. If you were in this for clicks, you wouldn't even talk about South Africa. Exactly. I would be talking exclusively about America. I'd be like Salty Cracker going off on Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Presley. I'd be doing all that. That's what I'd be doing. If I was in this for the clicks, it'd be all about America. That's all I'd be doing. Notice I'm neglecting my U.S. channel. Any of you even subscribed over there? Is anybody even subscribed at Real Chris Wyatt? I mean, I haven't. How often do I pimp that channel? I don't. And I need subscribers over there desperately at Real Chris Wyatt. Oh, that's already up. They just published my video on business. Wow. Wow. Didn't know that. America's Pulse with Chris Wyatt. Let me get that. There you go. 22,100 subscribers. I got 900 people here, and I bet you most of you aren't even subscribers. So if I was going to pimp it, I would ask you to go subscribe to that channel. Like, I don't know, like right now, I would like put it in there if I was pimping that channel, if I was all about the clicks. I'm all about the bass, the bass, the bass. Yeah. I'm all about the bass. Yeah, I know Heinrich about what happened to his grandmother and because of what happened to her, but that doesn't make it right. I have relatives who were treated as badly or worse, who were German in the Second World War and weren't given refugee status, were rejected, chased away, strafed by Soviet fighter jets trying to murder them as they walked in refugee columns. Raped, not my relatives, but they came, the Poles, the Czechs raped them, yeah, robbed them, murdered them. Yeah, 13 million Germans fled from the Eastern German territories and 4 million never made it to the West. They were murdered along the way. Tabiso Christopher, thank you for becoming a member. Yeah, but I mean, I don't let that color my view of the refugee program. Tensions run high in South Afghanistan. We're on high alert, ready to take the... Okay. Thank you, Diana Thompson. If anybody wants Mornay's number, you're going to have to send me an email, and I will send it to you, okay? As long as he gives permission if you're trying to help him, okay? Because he can't share it here, okay? Tabiso's a master and commander. Thank you, Tabiso. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for that. My mom was at Home Affairs Day, and there were tons of families getting their passports, parents and young kids. They're either refugees or about to leave the country by the means. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you don't even need information from the U.S. government. You can see anecdotally. Just go to a Home Affairs office and see what's happening every day. I mean, go back to January. How many white folks showed up at Home Affairs every day in your local Home Affairs? A couple? Now look at it. Not just white folks, but lots of folks. No, the sincere people recognize sincere people and sniff a mile away. I'm sure I don't speak for myself. I only say I appreciate your help. Okay, am I still live? Because YouTube is acting up again. By the way, did they take off my video? Checks are still running. Oh no, they're still running on that video. Wow, it says it's. I don't even know if I'm live. See if I can't get it to come up again. Wow, it says I'm live, but YouTube is buffering over here on my end. Not the stream, but the studio. Open Plaza was amazing. So glad I could meet you. It was great with all you shared. Yeah, and Paul de Klerk, if I was all about the base, the clicks, I would have simply not had that meet and greet. That was very difficult for me to do that day. Not so easy. YouTube Studio is not opening up. Thank you, Ian Moon. I will tell you again, thank you for all you've given me a lifeline. Thank you, Daffy Bill. My pleasure. Did you know that South Africa switched to Chinese server for GPS? I did not know that. How do they do that? The other thing is that it ain't fact-based because the last time I was drunk, I was young and you would get a... What? I have no idea what you're talking about there. Gordon von Rensburg, utmost respect for you, Colonel. It's nobody's business when if you have... Yeah, thank you very much, Gordon von Rensburg. Well, it's interesting that that would be said in that statement because that doesn't explain why CNN contacted me yesterday asking for access to these refugees. So, oh, come on, YouTube. I can't get back to my studio, which means I won't be able to end the stream. Oh, my goodness. I posted the link there just a little bit ago. Scroll back. I can't get in the studio, so I can't do it. Maybe I can call up the live stream. Let's try that. See if I can get the live stream up. Okay, this is just not even working. There's something wrong with that browser. Hang on. New window. Let me try a new window. Okay, maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's that window. Nope. YouTube Studio. I can't get to it. How to Zoom session with subscribers, members for next... I don't know, Mace. We did that, and it didn't work. It didn't go so well. Okay, I can't even call it up now. Can I get YouTube up? I can't even get YouTube to come up now. What is going on? Okay, let me check on my phone. Is this me or is this YouTube? Let's see. Well, that's an advert. No, it's there. I'll hear myself in a moment. No, it's there. I'll hear myself in a moment. I'm live. YouTube is not loading for me. What the heck?
YouTube is not loading.
Okay. What the heck? I closed that already. Jeez, that won't close on my phone. Weird. There we go. It's back. YouTube, man, having problems again. Star Shield, interesting little distraction. Okay, the checks are still running on that video. Unbelievable. YouTube they are a piece of cake, man. They are a piece of cake. All right, how are we doing over here? Let's get rid of that window. There we go. Are we going to come up live now? Okay, yeah, there we are. Good day. Stay true to who you are. Thank you, Pete. Pete Funderlinde for the 14 Rand super chat. Thank you. That tech support. Have you tried switching it on and off? Yes. The IT crowd. Hello. Have you tried turning it on and off again? Watching you on YouTube. Well, now I'm watching myself on YouTube again. Link to the channel. I gave you guys the link. Okay, here we do it again. Paste. There it is. At Real Chris Wyatt. Why can't you not find that? There's the link right there, folks. If you want to go subscribe to it. I'm kind of neglecting it for this channel right now. But again, if I was just all about the clicks, I'd be taking care of that. Morning, please, if you contact me, it would be much appreciated. Yeah, so Phoenix, write me a note or send me a message, okay? And Lynette just gave, you our go-to guy. Well, thank you, Lynette. I appreciate that. And that's why credibility is so important, folks. Watch your new video. It's very good. Thank you, Rakes. Appreciate that. But it's still being checked. Checks are still running by YouTube. They got problems today. Love your content. Always watched. Moved to Wales from South Africa 8 years ago. Love it. I watched you on InfoWars. No MSN. Cool. Thank you, Neil Yardy. Wow. Wales. Okay. Whereabouts in Wales? Are you in Cardiff? I love Cardiff, by the way. I love Cardiff. It's an awesome town. Especially when the Doctor Who Museum was there during the 2015 World Cup. Oh, that was awesome. I went to it, but it's gone. Too many people standing on YouTube bridge at once. I think so. The bridge is buckling under the weight. Going around, we have to have no water. Well, I'm off to Ronaldo in a few minutes. Yes, Ronell. Mornay needs help. Yeah, he's listed as Rainier here, but he needs help. Yep. Just think YouTube is having. I think YouTube is having a wobbly. I agree, Rakes. I think that the weight is a little too much for YouTube today. One just has to wait, watch, listen. Okay. BS bunnies reveal themselves. No, don't. No, guys, I'm not. This is no effort to get anybody to unsubscribe here. You guys can watch content. I watch Morning Shot, not all the time, but I do watch it. He started a new segment with Ronaldo now, which I didn't know about. I found out about after it was published. Yeah, who is Phoenix? I don't see any Phoenix here, so I really can't address Phoenix. So anyway. Rainier, do you want your number shared? Do you want your number shared? Mornay, if you want your number shared, you tell me. And I will say it on air, but we won't put it in chat, okay? Mornay, do you want your number shared? I'm waiting. Richard, you're very much protecting staff rescue folks. Thank you, sir. Enabling a high level of trust. Don't do it, says Bugger Off Bunny. Send me emails, guys, and I'll send you his number, okay? Sky News, okay. I don't know who the lady you're talking about is. My bigger Bugger Off Bunny is bigger. Haven't you seen my bigger Bugger Off Bunny? Let me find him real quick. Bugger Off Bunny. Hang on a second. Let me find the Bugger Off Bunny. Those who want Mornay's number. Mornay, I mean, you serious? You want to do this? Yeah, see, I'm not going to give the number now. You guys need to contact me, okay? I'm not going to do that. That's I mean, it's with your permission, so it's not a violation of the Poppy Act. But I don't know. It's not a good idea. Okay, let me find it. You want a bigger Bugger Off Bunny. Here it is. Okay, here we go.
Name's
There you go. Here's my bigger Bugger Off Bunny.
Name's Bugger Off Bunny, and that's bullshit.
That's a bigger one. And here we have another one. No sound to this one, but this is a bigger Bugger Off Bunny. Sky News head Rob Hersoff. Yeah, Rob is taking a back seat, but he recorded so many things that he's still coming up all the time, which is interesting. Okay. Now that's a big Bugger Off Bunny. Yep. Oh, was that today? It wasn't recorded previously? Okay. Yep. Okay, so let me look and see if anybody sent me an email asking for his number, okay? All right. Okay, I've got no emails asking me for his phone number, for Mornay's phone number. Okay. Okay. Nothing. Let me look in my WhatsApp, and I have no, nobody's asking for me here for it here. Okay. So yeah, no one's asking for it, Morning. So people are saying it in the chat, but they're not asking. The email's there. There's the email. Hendo put it out. Send an email, and I will send it to you while I'm on with Ronaldo, because Ronaldo's going to talk all the time, so I'll have plenty of time to do it. Send me an email. Email's there. If you want to help Mornay out, right here. It was Mornay. Britt sent me an email. He needs help by tonight. It's already 6 p.m., so they gave him an extension for one day, he says. So yeah. Okay, there it is. Sky News interview had to be from today because they discussed the Africana delegation. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. Maybe they contacted him. Maybe, Rob may have pulled back, but Rob gets lots of requests. I mean, the only requests I get lately to do interviews are Biz News and one or two other places. Biz News, Caravan to Midnight, and the Sentinel Report contact me for interviews. So I'm not getting contacted by anybody else right now. Is it possible to tell us with the urgent help? Yeah, I can tell you, Anton Mulder. He's been kicked out of his home because he couldn't pay his rent. He can't pay his rent because he said he got robbed twice a few weeks back. So he set up a backup buddy, and we mentioned it, and it didn't raise enough money. But even if it had raised enough money, it turns out they only pay you on the 10th of the month, which is too late. So he won't get the money that he did get until the 10th. Yeah, he said share the number, but Veroshka, I'm a little uncomfortable with that because of the Poppy Act. So I've given you guys directions on what you can do. They stole my title? What? They stole my title. I saw they were on, let me see what Biz News did. Oh, it's in a different window. I already opened that up, I think. Oh, come on. YouTube is acting up again. What is the deal here? Okay. Ugh. South Africa can't defend itself. That's not stealing my title. Where did they steal the title? Let me see. Oh, YouTube has really got problems. It is not working nice. All right, I got to go, folks. Ronaldo, I guess, is going to be ready. I don't see him here. Let me check and see if he's ready. Ready? I should go to his channel, but I can't get to it and see if he's Okay, cool. Okay, I want to make sure he wasn't doing it later because sometimes he does it later. Okay, so let me go over to Ronaldo. I'm going to wrap up here, folks. Thanks. But I got to be able to close this damn thing off. So let me get back to it. Won't let me close it. Otherwise, it runs for hours, and then it just, it's a pain. All right, there we go. I got it. I can get out. Okay, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. Thanks for being here. We'll be on Ronaldo in just a moment. Thanks for your support. Whoever's trying to start cock between Byron and I, there's no need for that. Thank you for sharing with me, though. So anyway, I don't know. Byron's got an opinion. He's welcome to his opinion. I've provided factual information. If you don't believe me, that's your prerogative. I stand by what I said. And that'll do it for now. Cheers, folks.